Let's talk about the one of the major reasons that I mentioned before. One of the reasons that China is trying to broker this deal with try to broker this deal with Saudi Arabia and Iran. Now, I told you it's all about energy security. So right now, most of all the oil that goes to China comes through the Indian Ocean. Okay, in fact, about 90% of all the world oil ships come through Indian Ocean and then go through the Strait of Malacca, and that Strait of Malacca is in between Indonesia and Malaysia. Okay, now Indonesia and Malaysia, these are friendly countries to China. So China had no issue with that. It goes through, you have Philippines there. Philippines is still friendly to China and also friendly to the West, North America. And so China is not worried about that. Now, this Indian Ocean, who has the strongest military in that area that can place a blockade on that Strait of Malacca in case there is international conflict? It is India. India have the might to place a blockade on that route and stop oil shipments going to China through Strait of Malacca. And that is a threat to China. That's a threat to China's energy security in case there's conflict. Okay, so it's one of the major reasons why China is seriously and patiently avoiding any kind of escalation in the border disputes that they have with India, because they know India's leverage. Okay, so, and if there is any way that China misbehaves and attacks Taiwan, the West will exert so much influence on India, and India might go the opposite way and decide to block that place. So in that case, China will be strapped, will be isolated, will be in bondage, lacking a whole lot of energy that it needs to even, fund a war. Okay, so what China have smartly planned out is to have this peace deal between Saudi Arabia and Iran, because it wants to build a pipeline. It wants to build a pipeline from Saudi Arabia to China. Now that's a long distance pipeline it's going to build. Okay? Now, how is it going to do that? The pipeline is going to be built from Saudi Arabia to Iran. Okay? Because there's already pipeline that from Iran to China. So Saudi Arabia is going to, and China is going to build this pipeline to transport both oil and gas. The pipeline can transport both oil and gas interchangeably to Iran. And they will connect from Iran to Turkmenistan. From Turkmenistan, it will now connect to Uzbekistan. And then from Uzbekistan, it will now go to Kyrgyzstan. Okay? And then from Kyrgyzstan, it enters China. Now, this is a much more cheaper route to move this oil because it will now avert the humongous expenses the Chinese companies are incurring in shipping this oil through the ship, through tankers, through the Indian Ocean, Strait of Malacca and all that to China. They have to pay for insurance, they have to pay for all kind of levies, all kind of, crossing fees. They have to pay for a whole lot of duties. They still have to pay for the shipment. Okay? But if they now have this pipeline, they're not going to go through any of those expenses. They're just going to flow it from Saudi Arabia, and it goes down. Now, it's going to be this pipeline from Saudi Arabia to Iran is going to be funded by Saudi Arabia and China together. Though China is going to bear more chunk of the expenses. But the convenience it provides China and the energy security it provides China is immeasurable. Okay? So that's one of the main reasons they had to bring that business benefits to Iran and Saudi Arabia, and Saudi Arabia suck up to that because that's so convenient. Okay? That's so convenient. Saudi Arabia ships its oil to America. It goes through ships, tankers. But right now we're talking about pipeline. Now this will be secure because this pipeline is going through countries' territories. These are all friendly countries to Saudi Arabia and to China. So it's not going to be like, what you have with Russia and Germany, the Nord Stream pipeline that was blown up by America and Norway. I mean, I can literally tell you with the knowledge of German government. No matter how they deny that, I am very sure they were giving some kind of hints, heads up. Okay? So, the pipeline is there, but guess what? The two owners of the pipeline, they became rivals, became enemies. Okay? Germany became antagonistic against Russia through the influence of America. So, why can't the pipeline be blown up? It got blown up. And one of the person who owns it did not cry out. He's not complaining. He's not doing an investigation. He's just mum. So that tells you a whole lot. So China has learned a lot. And they're trying to avoid all this stuff. Okay? So they're going to build that pipeline and it carries the oil to China. So in case, you see how China is preparing itself. In case it finds itself tomorrow being heavily sanctioned by the West, America and its allies, and then they're going to try to stop ships from carrying oil and gas to China through the waterways, it has a pipeline. Okay? So that is energy security right there. Benefits all parties involved. That's why I like China's, modus of operandi, give and take. You know what I'm saying? From where I'm from, Nigeria, they say chop I chop. Mutual benefit.